Hi, Dianne. Good to talk to you. For those of you that don't know, Dianne Auld is probably the world's expert on all things Excel for reward or comp and ben professionals. I can really confidently say that there's nobody that knows as much as she does. She runs our pay structuring workshop, which is a step-by-step template on how to implement pay structures in your organization. And she also does a very similar course on incentive design. But Dianne, we're here to talk about your Excel courses. If somebody is new to the reward profession and new to Excel, where would you guide them to start?
Thanks, Amanda. If you work in reward, good Excel skills are absolutely essential because the data comes in from the HRS, from the payroll. You have to massage that data, you have to work with it, you have to analyze the data, do comparisons to market, do costings, put it into pay structures, incentive design, etc. So you have to work with Excel extensively in reward. So if you are new to it, I always say, the two things that you really need to master are lookup formulas and pivot tables. So with lookup formulas, I would always have said in the past, learn VLOOKUP, and that was the go-to formula. But most companies these days use Microsoft 365, and they introduced in 2020 XLOOKUP, which is a fantastic formula. It actually replaces VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, if error. And what lookup formulas enable you to do is to connect different sets of data together. And it enables you to, you don't have to copy paste data. It enables you to look up market data, look up tables. Honestly, the lookup formula is the most important formula to master and the most time-saving formula to master in Excel. The other really critical thing is pivot tables. So I teach pivot tables in my Excel Diploma Pro Level 1 course. And when I've taught them in class before, someone has said to me, you know what you just showed me how to do in 3 seconds previously took me 3 days. Pivot tables are just amazing for analyzing data. You can count, average, min, max data. You can do it by multiple criteria. They're incredibly flexible. You can drag fields in and out. You can add slices to make them interactive. You can add pivot charts. And using pivot tables, you can build really easy dashboards that are interactive and powerful. So those are the two most important things. If you're new to Excel, master lookup formulas and pivot tables.
Yes. Wow. Okay, great. That makes sense. What about those of us who have a bit more experience and are more familiar with Excel and we just want to hone our skills? Where should we start?
Okay, so if you're familiar with formulas, pivot tables, charts, so you've mastered those, then you need to start learning the amazing functionality that Excel has. It is such a huge and powerful tool. So for example, one of the things you need to learn are they introduced dynamic arrays in 2020 to Microsoft 365. Again, most companies are using that. And together with that, they introduced unique sort and filter. These are 3 of the most powerful formulas for you to enable you to extract unique records, sort them, filter them, for dashboards, for scatter charts, just for data validation drop-downs. I use them all the time in my work. So those formulas should be your new friends in Excel. Also, conditional formatting. Conditional formatting allows you to highlight anomalies in your data, to add icons, to do heat maps. So it puts a lot of really great visuals into your data as well. And if formulas, you may know how to do a basic if formula, but you should master the whole suite of them. So how to do nested if and, if or, and the whole suite of count of sum of average of formulas, which enable you to count sum or average your data based on criteria. Again, fantastic for dashboards. Then 2 of the most important things you need to do to massively increase productivity are learn macros and Power Query. So macros, you can record a series of instructions, anything you do on a routine basis, like you do it every day, every week, every month. Then you just click run the macro and it runs it through all of those steps again and saves an incredible amount of time. You can add extra code to get it to like loop through every worksheet in your workbook. Also, Power Query is just one of the most incredible tools for improving your productivity in Excel. You load data into Power Query. You don't have to use any formulas. It's just point and click. It enables the routine transformation of data. When you've finished, you put new data in, you just click refresh to run it through the query steps. It can merge data from different files in a folder, scrape data from the web. So the two best productivity tools to learn are macros and Power Query. And then also you can learn things like Power Pivot, which enables you to get Excel to act a bit like a database and merge tables together. You can then put medians. We all want to put medians into our pivot tables and percentiles. You can do that with Power Pivot. And I think at the end, it's just harnessing all of these techniques, all the power that Excel has, and then combining all of that to create fantastic dashboards and modeling tools in Excel. So that's what you should be learning.
Yeah, gosh, it really is magic. Well, I'm very lucky because I get to read all the feedback from Dianne's courses, and it's no secret to say that they really are the best that we get. Dianne regularly scores a 9 out of 10, a 10 out of 10. What do you think, Dianne, is the biggest benefit that people will get from training with you?
I think the important thing is that I have enormous experience in reward. I've worked for over 30 years in reward. I've worked across industries, across countries. So I have this deep, deep knowledge of reward, but also I'm absolutely passionate about Excel. I love Excel. I again, very deep understanding and knowledge of all the functionality in Excel, always keep up to date with all the latest releases. And I think the big benefit is that a lot of the time people go on Excel training, but it's teaching them like, how do you sell widgets, or how do you work with sales data or accounting data? And they can't relate to those examples. Whereas when they do my training, they can immediately relate to every example I'm teaching because it's relating to reward data. And all the stuff I'm teaching, I use in my own work. So they can immediately see the application of it and say, yes, this relates to my work. I can do this. So and also, I think I can make them look really good because I teach them how to create these amazing dashboards, modeling tools that will really impress their boss.
Yes.
Lots of people have written to me afterwards and said, I've just done this and my boss was so impressed with me because
Yeah.
I was now able to do this incredible, powerful visual analysis of the data. So I
Yeah.
think that's one of the reasons they relate to it. But
Yeah.
also I think when I train, I love teaching. So, and I love engaging with delegates. I tell stories when I train. I use a bit of humor. I use a lot of practical examples from my own work. I engage with delegates. And I think just that combination makes it an engaging experience for delegates, and they can use the material and look good.
Yes, gosh, absolutely. If you're in reward, you really need to do these courses with Dianne. Well, thank you so much. Just to end on, we're going to play a 60-second clip from one of Dianne's recent courses. And then all at eReward, we're here to help. So let us know how we can get you started.
Right. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we want to extract the name from this company email address. We don't want the email address. So what we're going to do is add column, and we're going to do a column from examples. All right. And this works in quite a similar way to flash fill in Excel if you've used flash fill. So I'm going to say from selection. All right, so it pops it always, if you insert a new column, it always pops it right the way here over on the right. All right, so I'm going to give it a name. To change any column heading, you just double click on it. So I'm going to say employee name. All right, now I want you to give it examples. So I'm going to look at here and say, and you can see it's ticked there to show that's the column I'm using. All right, so Peter Martin. All right, so I'm going to type the first one. Peter Martin, capitalizing it, spacing it correctly. Now, who's the second person? Andrea Ogle. All right, so I'm going to write her name, Andrea Ogle, and you can see it's picked up the pattern. So it looks and it says, I think that's what you want to do. Is that okay? It's written some code for it. Say, yep, that's exactly what I want. You say, okay, and there it is. It's extracted the name. And it's really clever, this. It can even do more sophisticated things than what I showed you. All right. Now, obviously, if someone had a double barrel surname like Van der Merwe, Van der Stel, you would still have to go and fix that. But it's still a lot better than having the company email address. But also, it's even cleverer than that. So for example, say I told it I wanted to use these 2 columns. What I could say is something like this, like Sherry was born in May. Ian was born in June. And then it would say Antonio was born in March. You know what I mean? It would just pick it up. I could use more than 1 column and it would pick up the pattern.